Making beetroot wine today, using as a basis Terry Gary's recipe from her excellent book for beginners, The Joy of Home Winemaking. I've made this recipe before, so I know I like it how it appears in the recipe. I've washed my hands. The initial stage of winemaking is not a sterile procedure, but certainly should be a very clean one. So I wash my hands first with soap and then with an alcohol-based hand rub. My primary 23-litre fermentation vessel with a very large spoon have also been scrubbed with a sodium metabisulfate solution. And here on the stove I have boiling an adequate but confessedly unmeasured quantity of water. It's about so high, I don't know. It's probably around the 3-gallon mark. We're making 3 gallons today. And when that water has boiled, I'll put the sugar in there, which I have over here, which I have yet to measure using my supersize scale that I have basically for that purpose. So we'll wait for the water to boil, we'll put the sugar in, and then while that's cooking away, I'll get the beets opened. These are just cans of beets, no frills, nothing added, and we'll get those in the fermentation vessel ready to put the sugar water on top of them.
Well, now the beets came in water, and rather than dump the water away, I've put it in the fermenter. You know, your fruit in your wine is there for flavour and colour and smell. So if it's been soaking in this water is desirable to your end product because you get a better colour and better flavour. And here's my helper, Elena, and Elena's going to go ahead and dump the last can of fruit into the primary fermenter for us. Very good. Did you get it all? There's a bit more. Did you get it all? Well done.
This recipe calls for 7.5 pounds of sugar, and there was one stage at which I would add the sugar to my big boiler once the water had boiled. You do want to boil the water for the sake of sterility. But now I tend to add the sugar to the water once the water is in the primary fermenter, because I kept having errors of volume, you know, because if you use anywhere close to the amount of volume in your boiler that you need for the recipe, you know, give or take a couple of pints, 3 gallons in this case, and then you add the sugar, well, you know, that increases the volume to where you might end up with more than the 3 gallons, plus if you've got any juice, plus you've got the volume of the fruit in the fermenter. I found it was better to just get the boiled water, add it to the primary fermenter until I was within a couple of litres of the 3-gallon mark, then add the sugar, and then I knew that my volume would be fine. Worst case scenario is that you put all your sugar in here only to discover that you've got too much liquid for the recipe, and therefore your recipe then either contains too little sugar if you don't use it all from there, or too much volume if you choose to have more than 3 gallons, and then you'll have a problem later with where you're going to put the excess. Wow, I do go on, don't I?
So there I've whacked the sugar in there, and then I've whacked the water on top to make 3 gallons. And you'll see I've left the fruit loose in this case. Beetroot is big enough that I can just strain the water off it through my giganto funnel in about 10 days and have no fear of any fruit coming through into the secondary fermentation at all. If it was smaller fruit, I'd probably put it in a mesh bag. Not a problem at this stage. So we'll let this cool down for a while with the lid just sort of loosely on top, and then we'll add the additives such as acid blend and yeast nutrients and so on, and let it cool off overnight, and then we'll put the yeast in tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning, and then it will ferment for 10 days. So this is stage 1 really.
Very easy. I think I'll call it a day there. I think I've shown you all you need to see.